It's the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Ben Hustling, Guy and Buckets in the building as always. What's going on, homie?
All good, my man. It's been a really good weekend, been a really good week of sports, and we got a lot to discuss.
Yeah, and the one person that needs to be here right now isn't here because he is the one that perpetuated all of this shit by doing what he did. He know who he is. He know who he is, and when he hears this shit, he know he got some explaining to do, Lucy. he, he got some explaining to do.
But there's the bear, and he was just out there poking it.
He just kept doing it. He just kept doing it, kept doing it. But hey, as always, thank y'all, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. The name of this episode: The Knicks are champions before GTA 6. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah.
The Knicks, 53 years. 53 years, homie, since they seen the Larry O'Brien. And now they get to finally hold it 53 years later. That's what's up, man. But before we get into that, because you already know it, box office series. I'm talking about, man, each game had its own, yeah, it's just like a soap opera. Just each game had its own thing. Just we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it because I know all y'all like, damn, yeah, man, it was some crazy shit. Some people agreed, some people didn't. Some people's parlays is fucked. I'm one of them.
Yeah, the
I'm one
script
of them.
the NBA script writers were definitely backstage thinking, "Oh shit, if you like the first one, wait till the sequel."
Exactly.
Each and
This
every game.
this shit went 5, but before we get into it, man, World Cup action. I know I'm not too big of a soccer fan, but I actually took the time out this weekend and I watched the good old US of A play in our game, and them boys look good, man. The boys look good, man. But wait. I just want to put this out here. I am not saying, ladies and gentlemen, oh shit, the way they played, we gonna win that shit. We gonna beat, what I'm saying? We gonna beat Brazil and we gonna beat all the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. All right. I'm just saying in that game that I saw them play, they looked good. That's all I'm saying. They're not the
Yeah,
women's
absolutely.
team. They're not the women's team, but they did look good. So I'm proud of them boys. Hopefully they keep it up and make it interesting. As well as, the home front here, man. Australia got on the board too. They seem to be waxing ass too. Who they play? I think it was Turkey they played. They
Yeah,
played
got up
Turkey.
got up against Turkey.
Yeah. And BTA, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of BTA action. So
Yeah, solid win. It's helped them, take the top spot in the group stage so far. Anyway, I know we're only one game in, but
hey, I know, and that's what I had to tell a lot of people, man, especially the homies back over in the States. I'm like, hey man, gotta pump your brakes. Like, it's only
actually
one
no.
game.
So second spot in the group stage because we are in this. Australia and USA are in the
Yes,
same group.
yes, we are.
The
So
USA had a bigger win, 4-1.
just for yeah, that's what I was like. But I ain't gonna get into that because like I said, I watched that game and that last goal, you could tell if things would have went well earlier in that game for them, that score is supposed to been a lot more. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
And I watched that game. It should have been a lot more. But it's soccer. They looked good. Like I said, they're not they're not the women's
I
team, but
mean, they needed to give the home crowd a showing, opening game for the home crowd. So
yeah, but and I'm not saying Paraguay isn't a good team because I heard they've knocked off some juggernauts too now. But the way they played the US, it made me like, and this what y'all was boasting, bragging about who beat think they beat Brazil and they beat. somebody else, and I was like, we were supposed to be worried about them." It was- and no disrespect, like I respect all countries and all walks of life, and you know what I'm saying. Every place in the world has good soccer players, but just the way they was amping that shit up was kind of like. And then what I seen with my own eyes, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what y'all was looking at. That's not what I seen. I seen, yeah, them boys was handling them. But congratulations to the both of the home fronts, man, moving on. And coincidentally, looks like we playing each other in the next round.
Yes, sir. In the next
So
game, say Saturday morning, set your clocks, 3 a.m., set your alarms.
shit me, I'm gonna be asleep.
Yeah.
I ain't finna, I'm not fucking around with that shit, man. I'm gonna take my ass to sleep. I ain't
So if
got
unless my
real.
body clock wakes me up, then I'm sleeping through that. I'll
I
watch it
mean, if
later.
I do, and I check in and see the score, but other than that, man, I ain't take my ass to sleep. I ain't worrying about no damn catching in the morning. But shout out to them. Interesting fact here. I know you know who Angel Reese is. I think a lot of people know who Angel Reese is. Well,
Name
Angel,
rings a bell.
yeah, yeah. She's hey, she doing her thing, man. She trying to monopolize some shit over here from we, spoke back a few episodes back about her investing in a uh NBL women's basketball team here. So, you know, but fun fact, she is tied for second on a list of the first 75 games in their career to have had double doubles in all of those games. On this list, are you ready? I'm going to pull this shit up now. You ready for this list? Hold on. Give me 1 second. She is tied for second on the list that comes with Shaquille O'Neal's number one at 63. Her and Blake Griffin are tied for 57. Tim Duncan at 53 and David Robinson at 53. Yeah,
It's quite a feat. That's a good list.
you in
Let's be
there.
real. Let's be real. Whatever you care to say about Angel or how, whatever you want to say about her game, you got to respect that she's a part of that list. I know the
That's what
people in the background are going to be like, "Oh, now do field goal percentage," but either way, that's a very big accomplishment.
exactly. You always gonna have somebody out here that's gonna, nitpick at anything and everything. You know how that shit go, man. But she's in an elite group of company here, like, and the only female in this elite
Yeah, so that
company.
like by default, by the sounds of it, she's got the WNBA record for most double doubles in the first 75 games of their career.
There you go. First 75.
I don't even know if that's a stat they were tracking until now.
That
Was
see?
it?
But
Since
that go to
it's
show
all
you
NBA players than her.
that's what I'm saying, but that go to show you how technology and stats are now in the forefront now. It used to be a time nobody wasn't really worried about stats unless you picked up a trading card. That's the only time you know about stats. If you pick, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Or like, yeah, or but now that's something that is more highlighted. And then again, that also puts you in the discussion for GOAT debates or, defense or offensive player of the year or whatever category award that's out there. Stats will be one of the things that'll help you propel in that. But yeah, shout out to her, man, for doing her thing. As a lot of love her or hate her, man. Like she balling. She's in an elite group. This is a time for her to talk shit. She
yeah,
excuse me, and rightfully so. She can talk
even
shit,
more. Talk even more. That's all we
So
need.
shout out to her, man. Just wanted to put that in perspective. And I think he was telling me before we got on air, man, me personally, I don't want to get into this because I know a lot of people kind of feel the same way I do. Other people probably don't, but um there's an event coming up, or is this past weekend, or was this past weekend? at the White House back in
Yeah.
America.
It's just I thought that was an interesting one because, like, yeah, to so the UFC this weekend pay-per-view event is being hosted at the White House rather than, like, Las Vegas or at a stadium, how they normally would do, a sporting stadium, arena.
Who the fuck
Yeah.
does that?
I have no idea, man. Like, I don't like, I
Excuse
haven't
me.
really kept up with the UFC that much lately, so I can't really speak on the backstory of any of these fights, but it's a good lineup of fighters. So it obviously, you know, because it's at the White House, it's got to be a big event. But and it's just kind of interesting how it's at the White House in the first place, like what the purpose of that is, because I would have thought perhaps that, it's there's like a sacredness to that area, not to host a sporting event. It's just interesting.
Let me ask you a question. Would you go to the White House to see a UFC event, or would you rather go to the Vatican?
Oh shit. I mean, we're talking money's no issue. Um I mean, yeah, I'd probably go to the Vatican because, like,
I'm just saying.
it's that's crazy to say, because I mean, the Vatican is not even one whole square kilometer in size. So
Yeah.
to basically put a UFC size arena in there, that's like a quarter of the entire city. Sorry,
And
not city, country. The size of the quarter of the entire country you basically take it up for the sake of this fight. So I gotta go check that out.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but the point I was trying to make before you made it pretty easy decision. Just certain things is sacred and you shouldn't fuck with it. You know what I mean? Again, we're not gonna take this time there in the fifth quarter because we try to not saying that we won't tackle and talk about the real issues out here, but it's not semi-sports related. In this instance, it's more of a PR stunt. We know that.
Because I
You know what
mean,
I'm saying?
in another sort of way, similar but not quite. I mean, obviously, the Sydney Opera House, landmark of Australia.
Yeah.
It's always had like orchestras and stuff play like that. So lately, obviously, because of the attendance it can draw, the money that can be made, and obviously, and these are all-time great Australian bands as well. They've had two like screamo heavy metal bands perform there in just the last couple of years. So they're
Okay.
obviously keeping up with the times, I suppose, in a little bit.
Hmm. Oh,
But it
so
is like, two of, Australia's all-time great heavy metal bands. So
but
it's not like they just picked
excuse
anyone.
me, but the Sydney Opera House is an appropriate
I think
venue
so because it's at the end of the
to
day, it's a concert hall, but like,
yeah.
like the White House, that's the presidential
Thank
land
you.
that
Like,
date backs like however many hundreds of years.
come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's like that's like that's like me holding a barbecue out of the on the front lawn. Just handling just cooking it up a storm right out there on the front lawn, bro.
That could actually happen as like a campaigning event one day, perhaps, just like, "Oh, let's
They're
put
not
on
doing that.
barbecue,
They're not gonna do that.
welcome everyone, like the fellow, the unity of the city. We welcome you to the White House to enjoy some barbecue together."
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
think that
as
but I
a
don't think
bring
that's what they're doing for the UFC though.
exactly. Come on, man. They probably just gonna give them a hot dog and a soda. That's about it. That's all you get, a hot dog and a soda, homie. But anyway, that's cool, man. I hope that the event turns out to be a good event and what was scheduled on the card and excuse me, all those fighters, best of luck to them moving forward. Now, let's get to what we really came here to see. as 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 a famous person that I once knew said, let's bring them what they came here to see. The Knicks are champs before GTA 6. That's that's the crazy shit, man. Nobody would have been thinking around in 2026, the year of our Lord 2026. The New York Knicks are NBA champions and they did it in such dramatic fashion. I mean,
They really did.
one for the history books, bro. And I said it in the last episode for those who, make sure y'all check that out what we said last episode. But the name of that episode was exactly what it was going to be. History either way will be made. And so much history was made from collapses to comebacks to
Scoring
just
records.
bullshit calls to blunders. Just it was a little bit of you name it, we had it. It was in this series. Um, I'll start off with this. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. New York is going crazy right now. We know right now they're not gonna sleep for like 72 hours. I think the parade is on Tuesday. It's on Tuesday, so it'll be Wednesday for us Australian folk. Tuesday for yeah, it'll be so
Yeah, so
all day
they just
Tuesday.
happened to also win on a Saturday night, so most people aren't working tomorrow, they're gonna go wild.
Oh no, the whole city is
Like,
not
Mandami
going to
might as well
work.
just give them a public holiday on Monday, call
Yeah,
it Knicks
thank
Day.
you. That,
Just
that
everyone take the day off work on
nobody's
Monday.
going to work.
Shut the
Nobody's
city down
going to
for a
work.
day.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised if you get 4 or 5 DJ Clue mixtapes. DJ Clue mixtapes. Know what I'm saying? Funk Master Flex finna be talking all kind of crazy shit. I'm telling you, that shit's finna be bananas. It's finna be
I'll tell you what
bananas.
it was the game changer because they had the Wu-Tang Clan perform at halftime of
Oh,
game 4.
there you go.
And they called it Knicks in 5.
Come on, man. There you go. But I'll bring it to you like this then. Was it New York's experience that won them the series, or was it San Antonio's inexperience that lost them this series?
I'll say it's definitely a combination of both. I mean, this Knicks team together, they've had, what, 4 deep playoff runs now, 5, starting from, like, when they first acquired Julius Randle, that's when they were starting to become a bit more of a competitive team, moving in the right direction, and then, obviously, they got Brunson along, or they had Brunson at that point, um, traded for Towns, gave up their future for Mikal Bridges, and got rid of Dante DiVincenzo, brought in Josh Hart, built a team, and for a long time people were questioning like, is 4 first round picks worth Mikal Bridges? And he definitely showed it in this series that he was.
Hmm,
Um, yeah, so there is a lot of experience on that team. As I just said, OG Anunoby's a champion. Mikal Bridges made the finals before. Cat made some deep playoff runs, both with Minnesota and then also on the Knicks. I think I'm going to lean more in the direction of it was the Spurs' inexperience that
hmm.
cost him in some very crucial moments. Whether it's the inexperience of the coach in itself, he's only been San Antonio's coach for about two seasons now. Um, everyone on San Antonio, everyone that gets heavy minutes on San Antonio, especially, they're all like 22, 23 years old in their first, second, third, fourth year in the league. Because really, if you flip it, 2 errors down the stretch. This is going back to game 4, end of game 4. So 2 crucial errors down the stretch that, may not have been made by a more experienced player that's been more composed in that situation, maybe a bit more confident in that situation, but the series could have been 3-1 in favor of the Spurs instead if it wasn't for those 2 crucial errors.
I agree. I completely agree. And let me tell y'all something, ladies and gentlemen. I was screaming at my television as if they were my own children. What in the fuck is y'all doing? I'm talking about, man, I have never been, and again, I don't, on the record, I love good competition in whatever sport, but my team and my heart will always be the Miami Heat. But I just had took San Antonio up under my wing, and yes, I do want to stand on the record. I did say that they would win the series in 7. Looks
Oh,
like
they've
that.
definitely been the more exciting team for most
Yeah.
of this season, so I understand why a lot of people had them back to win. So, like, everyone kind of just wrote New York off just because of what history's told us. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
they're the Knicks. They'll get far, and that's about it. They won't get there, but they'll get far.
yeah,
And so we just had no faith in them whatsoever. But for anyone at home who's not familiar with the two crucial errors that we're talking about, one being the last play, second to last play in game two, where Wemby, went to pass it to Stefan Castle. Stefan Castle wasn't looking at the ball, bounced off his back, turnover, went to defend that turnover, committed a foul, put Jalen Brunson on the line for two. I think it was Jalen Brunson.
yep.
And then also obviously the crucial play down the end of game four, where Spurs up by one. I think it was just about 11 seconds left on the clock. De'Aaron took the ball. He went up for a layup and got blocked. New York grabs the rebound. New York calls a timeout. New York runs a play. They get a bucket. Now New York's up by one. So whereas De'Aaron Fox probably should have, could have, would have, all hindsight now, try to dribble out as much time off the clock as possible, hold the ball up. He's eventually going to get fouled. He's going to go on the line for two, potentially making it a 3-point lead. But instead, he got blocked on the layup. So that was, we'll call that a lapse in an error as well.
Man, I mean, yeah, I agree. Definitely,
So
inexperience.
yeah, that's where sort of experience and knowledge, like we saw, so to say, a player that's, just how do I word this without, I'm not trying to trash him or anything, but just like, a brain fart type moment. We've seen it before. J.R. Smith, for example, in that finals game one, where he
Oh,
wasn't aware of the clock. He wasn't aware of the score. He wasn't aware of the clock.
Marshall Brady moment. There you go.
Yeah.
Marshall Brady moment.
So, it happens. Just in March Madness, just going, Camden Boozer had
Yeah,
that bad turnover late in the game where, he could have tried to dribble the clock out, try to hold the ball up, get fouled, but instead he, attempted a pass and turned it over. So that's, inexperience and, just sometimes your mind just isn't 100% there. But if you ask me as a professional athlete, that's what you're getting paid to do. So it should be there, but we're all human.
yeah. No, I do agree. Inexperience definitely reared its head. Um all four of these games, and you know that. Even this game, they came out the gate and they
Yeah.
had them on the ropes, double digit leads in all 4 to 5 games
Yeah.
out the gate, okay? Now, if me and you were sitting in a room with a divider watching the same game, you would think, or you take the names off the jerseys, team, all that, and just go jersey numbers. And you'd be like, oh, the team in the black, they are whooping, they are whooping their ass.
Yeah.
They coming out the gate. They is handling business. Know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, you would be like, "Yeah, they win the game." Then all of a sudden, you see the team in the white start to make a comeback. You're like, "Wait a minute!" And now they're playing better than the team that's in the black that jumped out on the ass 20, you know, 10, 15, 20 points and kept it close. You would swear up and down. You'd be like, "Yeah, either this shit is rigged, like this
Mm.
shit is rigged, or like one team genuinely just they lost the plot during this series.
Collapsed. Collapsed.
They just I mean, that's what makes this a little, because it was making it very hard for me to watch, man, at times. Cause I was sitting here like, come on, man, y'all right there. You can close the door. Just close it. You letting too many mosquitoes in. And then what happens when you start doing that? Guess what? You can't sleep at night. They constantly stinging you. And the main one that was stinging you, his name is Jalen Brunson. He was stinging,
That yeah,
he was stinging your
that's where we're
ass.
going with this.
You know what I'm saying? And the other one, OG was stinging your ass too. Like you know what I mean? Like it was crazy, man. Like I don't know. I just
And
know.
that's actually a really good point, and, like, there's no, like, not a "I don't know" thing because I think there's a difference in the teams,
Yeah.
and we really saw it, come out in this finals. You know, we looked at the Spurs, we thought they were ready, and we're just like, yeah, they're ready. You know, they're a fucking brilliant team, a young team. They've been playing very, very well together. Like, so it's not even like, but I think that's the togetherness, like a little bit hurt them in the end, and I'll
Yeah.
get to that in just a moment. So for the breakdown of leads in this game, so game one, the Spurs led by as much as 14, and they led for a total of 34 minutes. Game two, the Spurs led for a total of 28 minutes, so just over half the game. Game three, which is the one game they won, they led for a total of 45 minutes. Game four, they led by for a total of 46 minutes out of 48.
The
And that's
whole
also the
game.
game that they had a 29-point lead at halftime
Oh,
and lost it in the last
excuse me.
35 seconds, I think it
That was
was.
the backbreaker.
Yeah, they lost it in
I
they
think
lost the
that was
game in
the
the last 11
backbreaker for them.
seconds.
Yeah.
And game 5 also, closeout game, they led for 44 minutes and 10 seconds. So that gives them a total of being in the lead for 197 minutes. Knicks were in the lead for a total of 39 minutes. 4 minutes they were tied.
Just under an hour and a half.
So and that so
Just
yeah. So
just
back to your point, that's where I sort of think like the biggest difference maker in these
yeah.
two teams it was Jalen Brunson. It was having a guy that can close a game the way Jalen Brunson can close a game. Having a guy that can take over when you need him to take over like the way Jalen Brunson can. Don't get me wrong, Wemby's an incredible player. No question he's the best player in the Spurs. No question he's also becoming very quickly becoming, if not one of the best players in the league already. But he hasn't really had those games where, you know, okay, let's put the ball in his hands, let him go to work. He doesn't exactly play like that.
Boom,
You know,
boom,
he
boom.
the help of his team
Yeah.
getting the ball to him in his spots inside where he needs to, like whereas Jalen Brunson is
Excuse
kind of
me.
just like, all right, we need a bucket, get him the ball, he can get us a bucket.
Let
And
me
that's similar to what we've noticed on other teams when we always say, "Oh, they don't have a closer, they don't have a closer." Like
yeah.
we kind of mentioned with Houston a couple of years ago, we're like, "All right, they got Kevin Durant now, he can get you a bucket when he needs to." Jalen Brunson is that guy. He's
But
him.
this isn't I just want to top back in on Wemby for a second though. Like, I understand, obviously the relationship you have with your teammates and, the system in which the coach runs your offense and certain things run through you, certain things run through your points, certain things so I understand those concepts. But this is one thing that aggravates me the most, and I think will probably aggravate me the most about Wimby. And I think Shaq has even said it publicly of how a man that large should be very dominant. And I get it. He's only 22, so he's still young. He's still wet behind the ears. Know what I'm saying? He's still got a lot of growing pains he's got to go through to reach the mountaintop. He had a glimpse in this series. He was there. He didn't think they kind of counted San Antonio out too,
Mm,
to be in this
yeah,
position. But my thing is this: we know, brother, that you are well over the basketball rim. You got to get down in that paint. I'm sorry. You Nobody can fuck with you when you in that paint. Nobody. You're
correct.
a dominant force. And I get it. The league is transitioned from, even big men now are getting out on the perimeter and they shoot more. And then, thanks, KD. Know what I'm saying? Because KD started jacking them hoes up, but he got a pretty 3-point shot, though. I'm saying his shit's pretty, though. But not every big man has to jack up threes. That's just my personal opinion. That's why I say I grew up watching the game where a traditional big man would be down there in that paint. They're killing the middies. They rim protecting. You know what I'm saying? Like they're doing what big men are supposed to do at the job interview. Okay. They're not doing nothing more, nothing less. Just do just do that. Let everybody else do what they need to do. But it seems in this era, and I think it was a lot that I seen in this series, and when Wemby, not to like I said, to pick on the brother, like he did an absolutely wonderful job to get his team to this point. I just think in the offseason he needs to work on. Look, man, pick up a little weight, just a little bit of weight. Okay, focus on your your down low, your post game. You get that going, I'm telling you right now, ain't nobody trying to really ain't shit you could do. Imagine how many 30, 40 point games you'll have. And I guarantee you he can have those type of games without taking one 3-point shot.
Yeah.
That was the point. That's the point that I'm trying to make. He is a dominant force. It's just I get it. The three will keep you in the game. But a lot of times, bro, some of that shit was hitting and some of it wasn't. And it seemed like he was willing to die by the three. You should
I
know
sort
about
of,
that.
I noticed that quite a bit, like he doesn't Wemby can make the three, but so he doesn't necessarily have to live in the paint, but
Yeah.
he does need to utilize it a little bit more because, he may not have the strength advantage over every single guy, but he definitely has the height advantage and the reach advantage as well. Like he's got long arms as well.
Come
So
on,
the way
man.
that he can stretch out and just drop that ball in the hoop, basically, yeah. You know, but he needs to. I think the Spurs as a whole got a little bit complacent at times when they had their lead. So, like he can make the 3-point shot, but if he uses that more as like an added weapon to his arsenal, not the main part of it, then obviously it's handy to have that as a big guy, for like a to space the floor a little bit, draw their center out of the paint, give some guys a driving lane, a driving kick lane, like a pick and pop from the 3-point line. But I felt like all the Spurs got a little bit complacent when they had like a around 15-point lead.
Yeah.
They wouldn't really fight for the hard bucket inside like they would on other possessions when they were creating that lead, and they sort of would settle a little bit for the three. I don't know if you guys thought the same, but that's just one of my thoughts on it. Whereas, and they weren't always falling, so it might be it might be harder to get inside and get a bucket at the rim, but your percentage is a lot higher finishing at the rim than shooting from outside. Obviously, even though like a lot of the
Excuse
threes
me.
they did take were they were good looks. Not like they were all.
Yeah.
Not like I'm
Yeah.
saying they were jacking up contested threes or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just they're not falling. So don't get complacent with that lead and keep fighting for the hard buckets like you were doing to like Castle getting inside, using the body, leading with the shoulder. Those type of things, creating space using the body and then, popping it up. Keldon Johnson was one of the few that I could see that was continuously doing that, getting
Yeah.
down into the paint.
But yeah, that's my personal opinion. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to bash the man. Like he has done an exceptionally great job throughout the season. Um to help his team get to this point and just a glimpse of what the league is going what they're going to have to deal with when you come to San Antonio or San Antonio comes in your building. I just think excuse me, he would be a slight tad bit more of a dominant force down in the paint because it's really like which I'm gonna get into this a little bit later on as far as the teams or what the blueprint was to deal with him. And there's a few handful of teams that have the blueprint to really deal with him. Like it's where other
And
teams don't really know what if he get it going, they don't know what to do. They can't do nothing
yeah,
with it. But some
but
of these teams do have an answer for him. They have an answer, you know what I'm saying? But again, everybody evolves. Every season is different. It's not the same season. So
well, in the sense of having an answer for him, like I'm gonna be honest, like Karl Anthony Towns did do a really good job defending him, like like as
excuse me.
as as well as you possibly can
Yeah.
defend a guy like Wemby, with the skill and the height and the reach that he's got. But you know, Towns got in foul trouble in both game 4 and game
And
5.
this game, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really when all right, Wemby, let's really use you down in the paint. Okay, you're gonna get guarded by Mitchell Robinson. He's a bit of a better rim protector than Karl Anthony Towns, but wear him down. He doesn't have he's not as versatile as Cat. He's only got so many like Mitchell
Yeah.
Robinson. Obviously, I'm not trying to trash the guy or anything, but
Yeah,
Cat's
yeah,
definitely a far more talented player.
yeah.
Like, and then even then they had to when they had cause a switch. Cat when Cat's out of the game in foul trouble. But like obviously the Spurs did rest Wemby at times. Like, okay, Cat's out of the game. Luke Cornet have a bit of a run.
Oh, Cornet. Oh, God dog it, brother. Oh man, you just I'm saying that because he did what he could, but he also jammed up one of my parlays. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to get on them boards. I'll propose this question. I'll propose this question to you. Do you think San Antonio shops around and see if they can get him another big man in there that might could help, especially when they're pulling Wimby out the game to have a rest because Cornet, granted, he did have some impactful plays, but I don't think the consistency is there to there's no drop off when Wimby's out of the game.
No, I wouldn't say they need to replace him. Like, he wasn't the problem, in my opinion. Like, he did what a backup center needs to do.
Of
Like,
course.
he doesn't need to be the main character. He just has to go out and, really do the dirty work. That's what a backup center generally does, Okay, you're not, when you have, especially when you have a star level center, superstar level center even, like, they're gonna do a lot. They're gonna do everything. Jokic, for example, even
No.
Cat on the Knicks, they can do a bit of everything. Wemby. So I think Luke Cornet went out there and did a pretty good job of just doing what he was meant to do: grab rebounds, protect the rim, get shots at the rim, pick and
Yeah,
roll,
cost
set screens.
couple costly turnovers, but that's neither here
Yeah,
nor there.
but that
Yeah.
was across the board for the whole team. I think like they definitely need to look into like plays down the stretch, whether that's from the coaching side a bit more, or but you can also say, yeah, a young team like that on the biggest stage in this early stage of their careers, you know, it's not unexpected for them to choke. Really, we're going to call it a choke. It was a choke, like
Yeah.
considering how much they had the lead
Excuse me.
and then they lost it down the stretch. Yeah, you can put it down
I
to a choke.
mean, obviously, the actions do speak louder than the words, and yes, it is a choke job, like
But yeah,
Popeye's biscuit choke. Yeah, it was
but
on
we're
a hot
talking like
day. Yeah,
there's been a
it's
lot of talk like as if it was San Antonio that lost and not New York that won, because let none of this take away from how insanely good Jalen Brunson was in every game
yeah,
of that series. I think there was like his lowest scoring game was like 20 points or maybe like 30 something percent.
but even
Um,
still,
yeah, and I think that was the loss against San Antonio.
yeah.
But then also like, more importantly, like the OG Ananobi game, game four, that's going to go down as the Ananobi game, the OG.
I mean, what he jacked up
Like,
like 7 threes. Yeah, 7 threes that
yeah, he
game.
had like I think he finished like what 38 points, was it 32
Yeah,
points? He had that block on De'Aaron Fox down the stretch.
yeah,
He had the putback, the game winning putback. Like, yeah, the Knicks never stopped. Like I said earlier, where I felt like the Spurs got a little bit complacent with their lead and they weren't fighting for the hard bucket. And they were
excuse me.
I felt like they were settling a little bit for threes. That's when, the Knicks were just slowly chipping away, chipping away. All right, we've got to stop. We're chipping away, we're chipping away. And then, next thing you know, they have suddenly got an 8-0 run and they're back within four.
Yeah,
That's all it took in a lot of those games. So
yeah.
it
I
was
don't
definitely
know.
a solid effort and a half
Yeah, it
on
was.
the
That's
side of
why
the
I said
Knicks.
overall,
Yeah.
very good series,
Same.
man. Like both teams played well. I'm happy it was good basketball. I
Absolutely.
will take a quote from someone that I heard earlier today. I was, doing a little prep for the show or whatnot, but they did say that for the New York Knicks to win this finals has just helped kind of boost the NBA. And meaning by that is to look at their process and how they made it to the top and how a little bit of collective veterans that they got in and, few young players that potentially could help them, but more vets. And, just basically how they worded it was kind of like misfits and rejects.
Actually,
to,
you might
you
you
know,
might be onto something with that because I mean, traditionally, the way to build a contending team is to build through the draft. You know,
Yeah.
that's why obviously the worst teams typically could get a higher draft pick. You draft well, you put together a good team, and you build a good team from there. With the way that the salary cap is being and the second apron is set up now, it's going to be a lot harder for teams to do that because, like for example, the Spurs. You know, they've got three all-star level young players in Wemby, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper that eventually they're going to have to pay big money to, or they're going to be able to offer big money to. So, but then they're going to be like, spending lots in luxury tax and so on. So you might be onto something when you say, did the Knicks just lay out the new blueprint of how to put a team together? Because one important factor to mention is the fact that Brunson took a big time pay cut for what he was able to be paid and what he signed to be paid instead in order to build a championship team. Because I think that might be a key thing going forward for a lot of teams, because there's going to be a long, like OKC is a good example coming up right now. You got J-Dub and Chet entering into the first year of their extension. Next year, they're going to be getting 40 million apiece. The year after that, Shay's going to be getting 60 million as well. That's 140 million just between those three guys.
Mm,
So, like, yeah, they're all great players and can continue to get better, but it's going to make it harder to build a team around that sort of like chunk taken out of the salary cap already. So it is an interesting way to look at it, like the way New York put that team together, because
exactly. Bunch
the
of
way that the yeah,
excuse me.
because of the way that it is now, teams are going to have to continuously move players a little bit more because of salary reasons. So New York might be onto something when you say that they sort of
There you
laid out the
go.
blueprint.
That's what I said. So they obviously, didn't go and get big ticket names to come in like some teams would go out there and fish for you know, they grabbed what they could, or as my mom used to say, another man's not saying that these men are, they are trash, but my mom used to always say, another man's trash is another man's treasure. And the
Hmm.
Knicks looked at it and was like, "Yep, y'all didn't want him, or y'all didn't want to pay him. We'll pay him, and watch what happens." Here we
Yeah,
go.
I mean, they've got their star level pairing that most championships teams do have. I mean, that being Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, both all star, both all NBA players, and then they selected some very good pieces to fill around them, and
Yeah,
also it did help that Brunson by taking a pay cut left room to pay those guys, but like Josh Hart, like he wouldn't have really gotten looked at by a lot of teams.
yeah.
But the Knicks obviously saw the value in him, and what he can do. Doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. Most importantly,
So
Mikal Bridges, like all NBA level defender. OG Anunoby, he's just he was quietly just over there chilling in Toronto, one championship under his belt, but just wasn't really making much noise. Let's
yeah.
say like a good player, people could recognize him as a good player, but wasn't really making the noise, and the Knicks went out and got him.
Well, we've seen in this
That
series
fuck
the
people
reason
gonna
why
know
they
his name now.
exactly why they
People are
call
gonna
him
know his name
OG.
now. If they didn't before, they know it now.
Yeah, they call him OG. I'll ask this question: do you think that now the finals are over now? Do you think that Wimby can overcome the criticism of this finals series?
I think he's gonna be facing a bit of criticism. Not because of and I don't think not so much because of, like, just the loss in itself, but he seemed like a bit of a bad loser. Like, he didn't take it well. I mean, no one likes losing, but you have to be a gracious loser.
Mm,
Um, like yeah, like, there was a few times where, maybe there was a little bit of dirtiness here and there, like, that was a bit unnecessary. Because I will say, he dealt through it for 2 rounds prior to this series. Going up against Minnesota, going against OKC, they played him quite physical. He definitely seemed like he had enough. Obviously, we saw him throw that elbow against Minnesota on Naz Reid. But the Knicks, I don't think defended him particularly dirty like we saw in some other series where they were, quite overly physical and the rest were allowing them to play through it. But the biggest one was unfortunately the very last move that he made at the end of the game was he walked away without shaking hands or congratulating the other team. And
hold on. Wait, wait, wait. Didn't Mike do that one time?
But that was different, like, that wasn't the finals. That was against the Bad Boy Pistons, and that was after years and years of them getting brutalized by the Bad
Okay.
Boy Pistons. They finally won it, and they said, "Fuck you, we're not shaking your hands, losers."
Got it. Okay. But
I think that's what it was, but it was a little bit of a different situation because I'm gonna say, there was nothing dirty about New York and Wemby other than the fact that they beat him fair and
I
square.
mean, yeah, you beat him head
Like,
up.
I saw nothing that should have created any kind of bad blood. That was very good competition in my personal opinion.
No. Yeah, I do agree. You gotta have sportsmanship
So
even in
you gotta
your
have
loss.
the
Yeah,
graciousness of losing and go out there, especially if you're a top tier player, potentially the next face of the league. He might, whether he wants it or not, he's there. So you do have to like Ant Edwards, for example. I'll give you he's a good example. So Spurs were blowing him out in that closeout game, Timberwolves. Basically the starters were being pulled, game was over. At a timeout towards the end of the game, Ant knows he's not coming back in the game. Game's over for him. He went over and congratulated the Spurs. He knew they were going through to the next round.
yeah.
So
Stand up guy.
yeah, it's just I don't know if he went back and congratulated them afterwards, but what I saw was right as the game finished, he just went straight to the tunnel.
Yeah. But all in all, you still have to, have to be gracious and as
Yeah,
well
so
as,
I think
sportsmanship always plays.
mm, I think there are some he won't cop all the criticism for San Antonio's loss. Like he did make some mistakes, but a lot of people on the Spurs, a lot of players on the Spurs did make mistakes down the stretch.
Yeah.
You can even include the coaching staff in that. So I think them as a whole will face a bit of criticism. But then again, like we've said over and over again, they're like 22, 23 years old. They're going nowhere anytime soon. They'll be back again.
I got one for you. Dylan Harper. I like the young man.
Yes, sir.
Do you think his game just a slight tad bit mirrors Kawhi Leonard's prime San Antonio? I didn't say it was. I just said, does it mimic? Because I know some people like, man, that's Kawhi. Kawhi was a beast back then. Don't try to compare him. No, I said his game slightly mimics his game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's still very early stages, so you can't say like, oh, he's just as good as Kawhi was or
Yeah.
anything like that, or Kawhi is. But no, I could definitely see like flashes of it, like definitely on like the defensive end, that's for sure.
Mm, yeah.
And like that, he's got a very good like mid range pull up, just like Kawhi did.
Midi.
Very good at getting to his spots. Nice high percentage shots. He's very composed as well. I think he was maybe one of the Spurs' most consistent player through that whole series.
And he
They
came
were
off
like,
the bench.
yeah, and like for example, like Stephon Castle didn't have a great game 5,
No.
but Dylan Harper was quite good in every single game.
Yeah.
That rookie wasn't a rookie this series. I'll tell you
No,
that
he
much.
didn't. And for those who don't or would have watched the game for the first time and would have seen him play, you'd probably been like, that man done been here before. He done
Yeah,
this
he's out
before.
there playing like a vet, man. He's
Yeah,
making some vet moves for sure.
like he's done this before. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for
But
sure.
I just think every time I've seen him play, even in the previous series that I've watched him play, I just think that his game mimics Kawhi's just a little bit. Like and like you said, the midi game, he gets that work and he can get to the rack. He can rebound pretty well too.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, just and defensively put pressure on you too. So I just seen a little bit of that, man. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to be, motherfucker find me in the street and hey man, remember that shit you was saying about Dylan Harper is fucking Kawhi? No, I said I said his game mimics just a slight tad. All right. Don't go off the fucking rails. Cause I know some people go off the rails. Um
No, it's kinda
is
like it's just, it's all one of those comparison type things. Like, oh, like this a good young player. Anytime you see a good young player, it's like, oh, doesn't this part of his game remind you of this guy? Like VJ Echohim got a lot of D Wade comparisons this year as well. And
don't
it's good to see.
you
It's good to see.
do not put those. Disrespectful. The blasphemy. Don't
Come on,
even.
man, VJ, you watched him this year. You saw him
Come
play.
on now.
He was
Beat
good. He
Wade
was
though.
really
Come on,
good.
man. Come on, man. Wade County. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, that's another that's another talk for another time. Um, I got two more questions and we'll wrap this thing up because I mean I'm already hurt because I got on record and said they was Spurs gonna win in seven. So I'm trying to,
I think a lot of people got that
you know what I'm
wrong.
saying? And TJ sitting here wherever the fuck he at, and he's laughing about the shit. And he started this shit. And I'm just yeah. But
We just didn't have any reason to, have faith in the Knicks
and and
53 years.
and here we are, 53 years later. Here we
Like, we
are.
all we all saw, like, okay, wow, 2010, 2011, whatever it was, they, made a big move, got Carmelo Anthony and Stoudemire. We're like, "Alright, the Knicks are back. New York, baby."
Yeah.
And then that didn't work out. But then
Yeah.
here's the next year, and that one got it done, though. So we haven't really had a lot of history hasn't really given us reason to have faith in the Knicks.
Well, now we have to do a double take. Can't sleep on them now. Gotta do a
Yep.
double take. Which actually leads me to one of the questions that'll take us on out. Is New York now the new kings of the East?
Well, yeah. I mean, they got to be. They're the reigning champs. On paper as well, even before we've said it a few times where, and this is where the not having faith in the Knicks comes in again. We're like, yeah, on paper they've got one of the best teams in the East, if not the best team in the East. But we just like so, and they finally proved that they really do.
Mm,
Um, obviously there's a couple teams that, you could consider them being up there with the Knicks, which would be probably the Cavs again, the Celtics. That's probably it right now because I wouldn't put Philly in there. Philly's a bit hit and miss. Like, I mean, when they're all playing well.
I don't even know why you brought him up.
No, I mean, like yeah, while they're all healthy and playing good together, like we saw what they did in round one of the playoffs, but like over the course of a whole season when they often deal with a lot of injuries from Embiid and Paul George. Like, I don't know if I could put them up there, but yeah, I'd say between like Celtics, Knicks, Cavs, like Knicks, no question, are right now the number one in the East.
So
Like,
are
obviously
you willing
they won the championship, but like that was no fluke. It wasn't a fluke.
so are
They
you
battled hard.
willing so are you willing to concede that the New York Knicks have now surpassed Big Green?
Well, I mean, not surpassed. I mean, we got to get our throne back, is
Oh,
what it
here we
is.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Well,
But
good
like,
luck on
yes,
that shit
right
because
now, they are the king of the
but
East.
hold on, but
Absolutely.
I'll say this
Mhm.
though, even though I like
I'm
fucking with
not saying it's gonna be easy.
yeah,
It's
I'll
not
say
gonna be
I
easy.
like fucking with you, but at least if it did boil down to it, you would see. I would hope y'all don't collapse the same way San Antonio did if you played the Knicks, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. I just hope
Yeah, I mean, like,
that doesn't happen.
Tatum back for a whole season next year. Um, let's see how that goes.
Yeah,
But like I said, I think there's 3 top teams in the East,
yeah,
which is the Knicks, Celtics, and Cavs.
I
And
can
yeah, the Knicks,
I can
like
agree
how
with that.
we've said several times, on paper they are the best team, and they've actually just shown off paper that they are the best team. So yeah, Knicks are the king of the East right now.
Thanks a
They
lot,
are the team to
TJ.
beat.
Yep, thanks a lot, TJ. Thanks,
They are the team.
TJ. Oh yeah, he said he won his ring. So, ladies and gentlemen, when he comes back, you're gonna hear him. He won his ring, so he petitioning for a ring. That's what he gonna do. That's what he told
Well,
me.
I think they're gonna have to choose. Do we give the ring to Spike or do we give it to TJ?
Ooh, TJ, I
They're going
thought
with
you.
Spike, man. They're
Yeah, I'm
going with
gonna say
Spike.
you taking an
But
L
I
on that
mean,
one, TJ.
for real, no, this is how much everyone knows it means to Spike Lee. Like, he's a Nick. Let's
Yeah,
put it that way, man.
die hard.
He's not just a Nick fan.
Yeah,
He is part of that New
yeah,
York Knicks
he is.
community. Like, so I follow Ray Allen on Instagram.
Yep.
Obviously Ray Allen and Spike Lee worked together for on He Got Game
Yeah.
back what
Yep.
20 years 30 years ago.
Yep.
Shit, 30 years ago. I'm fucking old,
Yeah.
bro. So Ray Allen gave Spike Lee a shout out because obviously they're friends, having worked on that movie. Like, he got
Yeah.
a lot of respect from him. He's just like, shout out to Spike because you've been there for the whole ride.
and you deserve it. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that the Knicks are gonna give him a ring, just
Through
like
the bad
Stephen A.
years of, Andre Bargnani and Steve Novak and
Yeah,
who else are there?
and Stephen A. is gonna get a ring. Oh, there's a lot of
Yeah.
people. A lot of people finna Fat Joe's finna get a ring. It's a lot of people finna get a ring, man.
Fuck it, just put one on the Statue of Liberty as well.
That
Just give
I
her a ring.
I've heard people talking about taking her face down and put Jalen Brunson up there, man. That's what I've heard.
Jesus.
And I'm like,
I don't I
"What?"
don't I think I think that's for New York to decide on.
I
I
was
think that's
like,
more for the
"Yeah,
the country to decide on.
yeah, don't know." See, that's what again, just like the fucking shit with the White House, the UFC event. Why? Just certain shit you leave alone. Just leave it the fuck
Yeah.
alone.
I
Leave it
did have
alone.
I did hear, the best quote, like, just before one of the I think it was like a commentary team, like just like a podcast commentary team or
Yep.
something, but like it's quite big, I suppose. So they were talking about how crazy New York is gonna be when the Knicks win the championship. So this was like right before the game finished. And Tracy Morgan said the most Tracy Morgan thing is, "Oh man, the Statue of Liberty is gonna get pregnant."
There you go. That's what I'm saying. There you go. What does that tell you? I got one
Oh
more.
man, big ups to 'em, man. They deserve it. Go
Yeah.
enjoy your night.
All
Party
right.
it up.
We gonna close it out on this one. Now that the New York Knicks have now achieved a 53-year goal to be back in the driver, to be back in the top of the food chain, where does Jalen Brunson sit on the all-time list of Knicks?
After this one championship, alright, just let me check real quick because what year did Brunson get to New York? Was it 2021?
Or 2020, 2021?
So he joined the Knicks in the 22 season, so 22-23. So he's in his 4th season right now with the Knicks.
Yeah.
He's got a Finals MVP. He's got a championship. He's got
Clutch player? Was he clutch player of the year?
3 All-Star appearances with the
Hold
Knicks.
on, did
He's
he?
got 3 All-NBA appearances with the Knicks. Because remember, in Dallas, he wasn't quite a star
No.
yet. He was just sort of like showing that he's got a bit of talent, getting up to about 18 points a game, I think he was at the peak of his time in Dallas in his early years. Because
Yeah.
obviously playing behind and alongside um, Luka Doncic.
A future Hall of Famer.
So does it secure him a statue? Maybe. Because, one of
He
three
definitely getting the street named after him.
one of 3 Knicks to ever have won a championship, but there's some names on the Knicks, all-time greats, let's rattle these off. We got, let's say, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, Patrick Ewing, of course,
Yep.
Earl Monroe, Bernard King. Um, they're all guys from that '73 championship team, except for Patrick Ewing,
Except for Ewing, yeah.
who also took the Knicks to a finals.
That was
Um,
99.
did not have any MVPs with the Knicks,
Yep.
but he had many All-Stars and many All-NBA teams.
Yep.
I'd say he'd be up there with those 5 right now. Surpassed them.
So
L
who
l
we knocking
Can't
out
pret
though? Who you taking out though?
I don't know if we do it yet because he's only been there 4 years, but he's like, accomplishment-wise, his the accolades are up there with those guys in a very short amount of time, so that's another argument you can make because obviously these guys all were on the Knicks for
S-
many, many years.
So let me ask this question then. So the Raptors won a championship and Kawhi is no longer with them. Is he not one of their goats? And he's no
Actually,
longer
you make a good point, yeah. You make a very good point with that
he is no
because a lot
longer
of people
with
will say,
them,
yeah,
but
Kawhi is one of the greatest Raptors of all time,
that's
even though he only played there 1 season.
that's what I'm
Because I
saying.
think but just because of, like, the time, but I think, yeah, that's where we can make this conversation interesting because, like, would people, especially Raptors fans, would they go, okay, Kawhi over Kyle Lowry and over DeMar DeRozan and over Vince Carter, who were there
Oh,
for many more years, even though they didn't win the championship in those
yeah,
years, they were important pieces of that team,
yeah,
important pieces of that city for a long time.
yeah,
Not to say Brunson's not an important piece of the team. Like, obviously, he's the most important piece of the team and a very important piece of that city now. But because of like time served, does he like yeah, like maybe as an achiever point of view, he might be considered top two, top three greatest Knicks. As a like greatest Knicks of all time,
yeah.
I feel like he's not going anywhere, to be honest. I think he's gonna stay in New York as long as he possibly can.
Oh,
So,
yeah, he's going to because 'cause they're gonna
yeah.
make sure they keep him there. So, he ain't
So,
going
I like, yeah, just as far as, like, the achievements alone go, you'd probably go top 3 maybe, but duration, I think he needs to stay there a little bit longer just to sort of not like to mean more, but just to solidify a place in like when people speak of all-time great players of a team, it's usually someone that was there for a very significant amount of time.
yeah.
Like, I'll make this analogy for example. So people like Dwayne Wade is the greatest Miami Heat of all time. LeBron James is the greatest player to ever put on a Miami Heat jersey.
I can concede to that. I can say that.
Yeah,
Yeah. But but, you know, there's always a but though. Um, yeah, that, that was awesome. That was an awesome ride. That was very, very awesome. I still say we should have
yeah,
four rings. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna just be quiet. But anyway, so you say that Jalen Brunson has to be at least in the top five. Top five.
yeah, yeah. Top 5, maybe top 6, depending on whose point of view you want to speak from. But like
Yeah.
the accolades speak for itself with the championships and what he's done in the short amount of time that he's been there.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations to the New York Knickerbockers for winning their first championship in 53 years. That is bananas. 53 effing years. Oh my gosh. People people done yeah, that's crazy, man. But congratulations to them. Um it's been a wonderful NBA season in a whole. We have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Crazy, man. But we made it through. We're getting there. Um, yeah, it was a wonderful season. I mean, wouldn't have it any better. And good season overall. It was a good season. Oh, might have. Let me see what's going on. I think that might have tapped out. We here? Did we hear? Nope. Well, nah, it was a good season. Overall, I enjoyed it. Very good. We managed to make it through a lot of up and downs, a lot of unsuspected, a lot of underdogs. Literally one of the biggest underdogs won it this year, so that was always a good thing. But yeah, as always, fifth quarter's here to cover it. So we thank y'all again, man, for just tuning in with us throughout this season. It's a wonderful NBA season. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Love y'all, man. We're getting ready for NFL season coming up pretty soon. We're still gonna elaborate on a little bit of AFL. Excuse me. World Cup's going on, so we're doing our thing. Yeah, just a lot of lot going on down the pipe, man, that we doing, and we again we appreciate y'all tuning in to us. TJ will be back soon, man. He's out scoundering the ends of the earth doing his thing, and so hopefully we'll hear, y'all will hear from him soon. And we got some new folk, man, that's gonna be coming down the pipe as well, too, man, coming and checking us out for these upcoming NFL season as well. So yeah, we doing it. And again, we appreciate y'all as always. So thank you again. When that, what I'm saying, touch base, we want to thank y'all too. And again, we will catch y'all on the flip side. Y'all know what it is.